Hello friends, in this video we will learn how signum function is generated. Signum function, in fact, it's a very important signal from signal's point of view. Let us begin. So let us start with generation of signum function, which is denoted as sgn of t using step signal. So in some last video lectures we have seen what is exactly meant by unit step signal, and by using unit step signal we can generate higher order signals, and therefore u of t is called as one of the elementary signal. So now we'll understand how to generate signal function. So we'll go step by step. Step number 1 says draw e to the power minus at curve. So basically it is a negative exponential curve. We'll see how to draw e to the power minus at curve. So I'll calculate e to the power minus at for three basic values. So I'll calculate it for t is tending to minus infinity. I'll calculate it for t equal to 0, and I'll also calculate it for t tends to positive infinity. Now if I substitute t to the power minus infinity, then it will become e to the power positive infinity. Just check it out. The negative sign is already present here, and since t is also negative, negative will become positive. In fact, I'll get e to the power minus 80 value as infinity. At t equal to 0, it will become e to the power 0. E to the power 0 is 1. And thereafter, I have substituted t equal to infinity. Now this is a positive infinity, which will make this value as e to the power minus infinity, and e to the power minus infinity is 0. So here I am planning to plot e to the power minus 80 with respect to time. This is 0, like that. At t to the power minus infinity, so somewhere here I cannot actually show minus infinity or plus infinity practically, but at t equal to 0 it has become 1, and when t tends to positive infinity it reduces to 0. So I may get such kind of point, to which if I actually join together, then I'll get this kind of curve. Is that right? So I'll name this as figure number 1. So now let us begin with step number 2. Draw e to the power positive 80 curve. Again I'll calculate it for three distinct values. One of that t to the power minus infinity, then t equal to 0, then t tends to positive infinity. We are doing so that we know the nature of this signal throughout the time scale. Let us calculate it for first t value, which is equal to minus infinity. So when you do so, it becomes e to the power minus infinity, and anything raised to minus infinity is always 0. Then substitute t equal to 0, e to the power 0 is 1. Finally, when you substitute positive infinity, it becomes e to the power positive infinity, and anything raised to positive infinity is infinity. Since the power is positive here, it is definitely a growing curve or positive exponential curve. So for minus infinity, I'm getting 0. For t equal to 0, I'm getting 1. And when t tends to infinity, it becomes infinity. So I need to actually join it like this. So it becomes this kind of curve. Here amplitude is 1. And this is the curve for e to the power positive 80. So we should assume that value of a has to be greater than 0 for both. So value of a has to be greater than 0. In that case, I'll get such kind of curve. So as you have seen, step number 1, e to the power minus 80, it is negative exponential curve, and e to the power positive 80 is a positive exponential curve. So I'll name e to the power positive 80 as figure 2. So we'll go next, step 3. Now step 3 says multiply e to the power minus 80 by u of t. So why we are doing so, I'll definitely explain you. First of all, e to the power minus 80, which is figure number 1. I'm just reproducing the same figure here. It was a negative exponential curve. If you remember, amplitude was 1 here. Now, see nature of this curve. nature of this curve is it is unbounded by value. Okay, the reason I'm saying it is unbounded by value because at t to the power minus infinity this amplitude becomes infinity, and whenever amplitude is infinity it is crossing the boundary. In that sense we say it is unbounded by value. So I'll write the nature of this curve. This e to the power minus at curve is unbounded by value. Not only that, it is unbounded by area also. How do we calculate area? We know that area under the curve can be calculated by taking an integration. But since at minus infinity it is going up to infinity, and then if I'm covering the integration from minus infinity to infinity, definitely it is not absolutely integrable because integration becomes infinity. So it is unbounded by area also. So second property of this figure is what I get is unbounded by area. So this is unbounded by value, unbounded by area. What I really want, I want to modify this figure to bounded by value and bounded by area curve. Then the solution is very simple. What I'll do, as you can see, if I just try to eliminate the left hand side curve and if I select only this part of curve, then as you can see, the maximum amplitude of the curve which is at right hand side is equal to 1, and thereafter it is reducing, and at t tends to infinity it will become infinity. So nowhere in the right hand side characteristic it is unbounding by value. That is, in right hand side as you can see amplitude is always finite. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to eliminate the left hand side part and I'll try to take only right hand side part, and this is done by multiplying this signal with u of t. So we'll see how it exactly happens. So this time I'm going to multiply this with u of t. You know that unit step signal is 1 when t greater than 0 and it is equal to 0 when t less than 0. So like this. Now what is happening is I'm multiplying e to the power minus at with u of t. As you can see, at left hand side e to the power minus at has got a curve, and the value of u of t here it is 0, and when you multiply it is curve multiplied by 0, of course it becomes 0. At right hand side what we have a further curve of e to the power minus at, and what we have here is 1. When you are taking a product of curve multiplied by 1 it remains a curve. Therefore I'll get this type of characteristic, and left hand side characteristic is absolutely 0. So now this has become e to the power minus at dot u of t. It is very simple to remember. Whenever any type of signal, when you are multiplying with u of t, the signal becomes right-handed signal. Right-handed signal because it is present only at right-hand side and left-hand side is absolutely 0. Such type of curves are called as right-handed curve. What is meant by left-sided curve then? Left-sided curves are those curves where only left-hand side characteristic would be present, and at right-hand side that signal will have absolutely 0 value. So the resultant curve it is e to the power minus at dot u of t. Let me name this figure as figure 3. So this is figure 3 for. Step number 4, multiply e to the power at by u of minus t, and definitely it has got the same reason. So we'll see. First of all, I'll recall e to the power at curve, and I'm sure you remember it was like this because it has got positive exponential curve. Is that right? Again, nature of this curve is quite similar because even here amplitude will go to infinity. So this is unbounded by value. Also it is unbounded by area also. So property of this is that it is unbounded by value and unbounded by area. Is that right? Now what I really want is I want to modify this curve to bounded by value and bounded by area curve. So definitely which side of characteristic you will select, whether left hand side or right hand side. Of course, if you see it is having finite value only at left hand side. So I'll be selecting this part of characteristic and I'll try to eliminate this type of characteristic. So idea is very simple. The part of characteristic which you want at output, multiply it 1, and a part of characteristic which you don't want multiply with 0. Therefore, I need to multiply this signal to such a characteristic which will have 1 value at left hand side and 0 value at right hand side. So definitely I need to have such type of characteristic. On left hand side it is having amplitude as 1 and right hand side it is having amplitude equal to 0, and naturally such type of characteristic we know this as u of minus t, and that's the reason why we said that we have to multiply e to the power at by u of minus t. Ultimate aim is not going to change. I want to convert unbounded by value and unbounded by area to bounded by value and bounded by area characteristic. Definitely again we have got curve here, and what we have here value as 1, multiplying curve with 1 will get a curve like this having amplitude 1 here, and on right hand side as you can see it has got a curve, but on right hand side u of minus t value is 0, so curve multiplied by 0 will become 0 ultimately. So resultant signal as you can see it has got bounded by value and bounded by area. So I'll name this figure as figure 4. So figure 4 is a characteristic of e to the power at dot u of minus t. So now step number 5 says add figure 3 with figure 4. So let me remind you what was figure 3. So figure 3 was e to the power minus at dot u of t. It was like this. Is that right? Also figure 4 was this, that is e to the power at u of minus t, and we got this type of characteristic here. Is that right? So don't forget this was figure 3, this was figure 4, and when you add it up then you'll get negative going curve on both the sides like this. So finally the type of characteristic that we have is called as umbrella signal. So this type of signal is known as umbrella signal. So such type of signal which is e to the power minus at dot u of t plus e to the power at dot u of minus t is what we called as umbrella signal. In a short, this whole thing is written like this: e to the power minus a mod of t. Please don't forget such type of signal is called as umbrella signal. This is known as umbrella signal. So whenever in the exam if you find such type of expression, that is e to the power minus a mod of t, don't forget it is an umbrella signal whose expression becomes like this. So for umbrella signal we added figure 3 with figure 4. Now if I do figure 3 minus figure 4 then I'll get another type of curve. So we'll try to see what sort of characteristic I get when I do this. So let's say if I subtract figure 3 or if I subtract figure 4 from figure 3, we'll see what happens. So what was figure 3? Figure 3 characteristic was or expression was e to the power minus at u of t, and figure 4 had an expression e to the power at u of minus t, and this is what I'm trying to subtract now. So I'll see what type of characteristic I'll get. First of all, I got this characteristic which was figure 3. Please don't forget it was e to the power minus at dot u of t. Is that right? Now they say e to the power at u of minus t. I'm sure you remember it was having this type of characteristic, right? But now suppose if I negate this, then definitely this thing will get reflected here. at downward side. Therefore, I'll get this type of characteristic. So this is actually minus e to the power at dot u of t. In fact, u of minus t. Now these two are getting added with each other. So we'll get this type of curve. Is that right? So this type of curve you got. This type of curve you obtain when you do figure 3 minus figure 4. Let me say this one as equation number 1 for expression for figure 3 minus figure 4. Suppose if you substitute limit a tending to 0 in equation number 1, that is, let me just write the expression limit a is tending to 0, and I'll write this whole expression which is written for equation number 1 here, which is e to the power minus at dot u of t minus e to the power at u of minus t. So wherever now you find a, just substitute equal to 0. In effect, what I'll get? So wherever there is a present, just substitute a equal to 0. You know that e to the power 0 will become 1. So we'll get this type of expression, which is u of t minus of u of minus t. So this type of characteristic you'll get. So finally what we have is u of t minus of u of minus t. Then let me just try to draw this signal. So now I'll try to plot this signal. First of all, we'll think about this u of t. You know that how to draw u of t? We draw it like this. And how to draw minus of u of minus t. So obviously this type of signal will come here. We have minus 1 here. And now let me tell you, the resultant signal is what we called as a signum function. So this type of signal is known as signum function, that is function of time. So let me just define signum function here. You can see sgn of t means it is signum function. It is always 1 for t greater than 0. You can check here in the characteristic. For t greater than 0, it is having positive 1. It is having value as minus 1 for t less than 1. Of course, when t less than 0, signum function is having value as minus 1. You can check. This is the interval of t less than 0. This is the interval of t greater than 0. Now we need to talk about a discontinuity point, that is t equal to 0 point. So at t equal to 0, since it has got discontinuity, you cannot say whether it has got minus 1 or 1. In fact, you will take the average of t equal to 0 minus value and t equal to 0 plus value. So you get 0 as average value, because at left hand side we have minus 1, on right hand side we have 1. If we take average of it, definitely we'll get 0. So signum function is 0 at t equal to 0. So let me just summarize what we have done so far for signum function. So we have expression for signum function like this: u of t minus of u of minus t. Remember, this is expression number 1. Expression number 2 I can write like this. If you see the previous step, this u of t minus of u of minus t, we got it from this, that is limit a is tending to 0, e to the power minus at dot u of t minus e to the power positive at u of minus t. So this is the second way in which we can express our signum function. You have to remember all the ways, and in fact there is one more way which I'll make you understand. So now if you observe, if it is 1 throughout, that is from minus infinity to positive infinity, if the characteristic is throughout 1, we can write this as it is 1 for all time. So this is how we write 1 for all time. So if I want to express this 1 for all time in terms of step signal, or in terms of in fact unit step signal, then as you can see, it is actually combination of two. That is, this part is u of t and this part is u of minus t. Am I right? So can I just write that u of t minus or plus u of minus t is always equal to 1, where 1 is 1 for all time. Am I right? If it is so, then I can shift this u of t to right hand side and I can write u of minus t equal to 1 minus u of t. Is that right? So this is what I'm going to substitute in expression number 1. See, expression number 1 is this what I'm talking about. So wherever there is u of minus t, just substitute this as 1 minus u of t. Finally, I can write this as signum of t is equal to u of t minus, now in place of u of minus t, I'm going to write this as 1 minus u of t. So if you solve this, you'll get 2 times u of t minus 1. So remember, it is also a way in which I can represent my signum function. So this is a third way or third expression you should remember for signum function. So remember, the first expression is u of t minus of u of minus t. That is this expression, or the second expression. In fact, by solving second expression only, we got first expression, which is e to the power minus at dot u of t minus e raised to at u of minus t, where limits a is tending to 0. So whenever you substitute a equal to 0 everywhere in this expression number 2, you'll get expression number 1. Also, third time what we did is we wrote equation for 1 for all time. 1 for all time is u of t plus u of minus t. In that case, u of minus t is 1 minus u of t. We have substituted this in equation number 1, and after that I got one more function or one more expression for signum function, which is twice of u of t minus 1. So you have to remember all these expressions. Remember, finally, I'll summarize what is signum function. You can see this as graphical representation of signum function. It is 1 for t greater than 0, it is minus 1 for t less than 0, and it is absolutely 0 when t equal to 0. How do we get equal to 0? Because point 0 or t equal to 0 is the point of discontinuity. We apply a Gibbs phenomena. At 0 minus, we have amplitude as minus 1. At 0 plus, that is just after 0, we have amplitude as positive 1. So we just take average of the both and we get equal to 0. So signum function, as I explained, that it is very, very important. So when you will be solving for Fourier analysis, the signum function will come. During that, I won't be going in this detail. In fact, I'll write just final expression of this and I'll start solving the problem which is based on a signum function during Fourier analysis. So you have to keep on watching all the videos in the sequence. Sequence is very, very important. This chapter is in fact very, very important. If you understand this, that is introduction to signals part chapter, then it would be very, very easy for you to deal with the frequency analysis part, which is Laplace, whether it is Fourier, etc. Thank you.